Caillou and Daddy were playing with Caillou's favorite train set.
Daddy?
Yes, Caillou?
Is it true some trains go underground?
Yes, that's true. It's a special kind of train called a subway.
Caillou was a little surprised.
The subway must be really dark if it's underground. I'd love to ride the subway one day.
That gave Daddy an idea. The next day, Daddy decided to take Caillou on a special expedition.
Are we really going on a subway train?
Yes, Caillou. We'll be 2 explorers.
Caillou put on his special blue hat and backpack.
I can't wait to be an explorer.
What's in your backpack?
Explorer stuff.
Caillou and his daddy went into the subway station. A gust of wind blew Daddy's hat off.
Oops! A good explorer should always hold on to his hat during a tornado.
Caillou wondered where all that wind was coming from. Daddy bought 2 tickets for the subway.
Daddy, wait! I'm stuck! Daddy!
Push hard, Caillou.
Caillou pushed hard, and he got through.
Well done, Caillou. You've passed the first obstacle on our expedition.
Caillou and Daddy went to the escalator.
We're going underground now. Are you ready?
Caillou looked at the big hole leading underground. He really wasn't sure if he still wanted to be an explorer.
I'm scared, Daddy.
Don't worry, Caillou. There's nothing to be scared of.
Down the escalator they went. Caillou held his daddy's hand very tightly.
And here we are.
But it's not dark at all.
There were so many people, and there was even a man playing a guitar. Daddy looked at a huge map on the wall, full of colored lines. Then Caillou heard a noise, getting louder and louder and louder.
What's that?
You'll see.
Lights appeared from the dark tunnel.
It's the train!
The subway train arrived with a big gust of wind, and the doors opened all by themselves.
Hurry, Caillou. We have to get on before the doors close.
Caillou was very impressed.
Are they magic doors?
Caillou looked around the busy train.
We have to stand?
Hold on tight, Caillou.
The train took off and picked up speed. Caillou was holding the pole really tightly. He loved his ride on the subway.
It's like a merry-go-round!
Caillou watched as the lights whizzed by in the tunnel.
We're almost there.
Caillou was sad that the ride would be over soon. Caillou and Daddy walked around the park. They stopped on a park bench nearby to have a snack.
It's much quieter here than on the subway.
Caillou took 2 cookies from his backpack.
One for you and one for me.
You're an explorer that thinks of everything.
I brought my flashlight and my teddy, too.
The explorers went back to the subway station.
Watch out for the tornado!
Caillou went into the station holding his hat, pushed his way through the turnstile without getting stuck, and rode down the escalator into the ground without being scared at all. Once he was on the subway, Caillou, the great explorer, fell asleep on his daddy's lap. Caillou was playing in the park with Leo. They were having so much fun kicking the ball together.
Great shot, Leo! Yay!
It suddenly started to rain. But Caillou and Leo loved the rain. They began jumping in the puddles.
Mommy, look!
That's some impressive jumping, kids. Mommy saw how messy Caillou had gotten. But you're covered in mud from all the splashing in the puddles. It's time to go home and take a bath.
But I want to play some more.
You can play in the bathtub, Caillou. Now say goodbye to Leo.
Bye, Leo. See you soon. See you later.
Caillou wasn't very happy. He wanted to play soccer with Leo. What's wrong, Caillou?
I don't want to take a bath.
But you've been playing in the mud. It's important to stay clean.
But baths are no fun. They're so boring.
Well, this one won't be boring. I'll be sure to add lots of bubbles to your bath. And you can play with Ducky, too. Caillou started to feel better. Maybe taking a bath wouldn't be so boring after all. Mommy turned the water on in the tub. She put in some bubble bath. It smelled sweet, like apples.
Look at all those bubbles, Mommy!
Are you ready to get into the bath now?
Yes!
Caillou wanted to play in the bathtub. He grabbed his tugboat and his ducky. When Caillou was in the bath, he loved playing with all the bubbles around him. Caillou was enjoying his bath time. He loved splashing in the water and blowing the bubbles. What are you going to play in the bath?
I'm going to play Captain of the Sea. Ducky is the captain, and this is his boat.
Where is Captain Ducky off to then, Caillou?
He's going on an adventure, but some of these bubbles are going to be a bit tricky to get through.
Caillou piled bubbles on Ducky's head and put it on the tugboat. He leaned back to let the bubbles cover his shoulders. Right. Let's get cleaned up now. Mommy carefully cleaned Caillou's face and ears. Caillou thought it tickled. Do you want to wash your hands and feet? Mommy gently washed Caillou's feet using his soccer ball sponge. Mommy poured water all over Caillou's back. He loved how warm the water felt. When Caillou was all clean, he got out of the tub. Mommy dried him with a big, soft towel. You smell nice and clean now, Caillou. Caillou smiled and hugged Mommy. Mommy helped Caillou put on his pajamas. Time for bed now, Caillou.
Mommy, can you read me a bedtime story?
Of course I can. Caillou chose his big book about animals. Look, Caillou, a duck. It's just like the one you had with you in the bath.
Captain Duck!
Yes, Captain Duck. Caillou couldn't wait to play in the mud again so he could take another lovely warm bath. Caillou was at the supermarket with Mommy.
Mommy, can you carry me, please?
Caillou, you're a big boy. You can walk by yourself.
But I don't feel very well.
Caillou started to cry. He wasn't feeling very well. Ooh, your forehead is very hot. You might have a fever. Caillou snuggled up to his mommy. Come on, let's go home and check your temperature. Caillou was not feeling very well. He had the flu. How do you feel, Caillou?
My throat hurts.
I think we may need to go visit the doctor.
No, I don't want to go to the doctor, Mommy.
It's always best to visit the doctor when you're ill. They'll make you feel better in no time.
Hello there, Caillou.
Caillou wanted to stay near Mommy. He was still a little bit scared.
So, a little birdie told me you're not feeling so good. Well, I can change that. But first, I need your help. You can use my stethoscope to listen to your mommy's heartbeat.
Caillou had never used a stethoscope. He was amazed. He could hear Mommy's heartbeat.
Wow!
Very cool, right? Would you like to listen to your own heartbeat?
Caillou could hear his own heart. He was really amazed.
Now, can I listen?
Dr. Rose used the stethoscope to listen to Caillou's heart and lungs.
Caillou, I want to look inside your ears now. I'm going to shine this light inside your ear to make sure everything is okay. Are you ready?
Don't worry, Caillou. It won't hurt. You can hold my hand if you like. Caillou held Mommy's hand whilst Dr. Rose looked in his ear.
Now I want to look at your throat to see if it's red. I need you to open your mouth like this.
Dr. Rose opened her mouth wide, but Caillou was still a bit worried.
Now it's your turn.
Caillou opened his mouth wide and stuck his tongue out.
Oh dear, it looks like you have a bad cold, Caillou.
Caillou cuddled up to Mommy. He didn't like having a cold.
Your mommy has done a good job taking care of you. Now you need to rest some more and take this medicine. You'll get better in no time.
The next day, Caillou was starting to feel a bit better. Mommy brought Caillou a glass of water.
But I'm not thirsty.
It's important to drink lots of water when you're sick. Are you feeling a bit better now? Let's check your temperature.
Mommy!
Caillou, you have to sit still, dear. Caillou couldn't sit still. He wanted to play with his toys. Looks like you're getting a lot better. Caillou wanted to play doctor with his Teddy. He pretended to check Teddy's temperature. How is Teddy feeling, Caillou?
He's a bit ill, Mommy. I'm going to have to stay here and make sure he gets better.
Good idea, Caillou. That's very kind of you. Caillou loved playing doctor with his Teddy. He was happy to stay home and make sure Teddy got better.
Caillou hurries to put on his fancy clothes. Tonight he's going out with Mommy and Daddy like a big boy. Rosie is staying home with a babysitter. The restaurant is full of people. Caillou holds his daddy's hand and looks around.
It's a bit dark in here.
Caillou doesn't see any children. He feels so proud to be with grown-ups.
Look at the aquarium, Caillou.
Caillou runs off to say hello to the multicolored fish.
Don't run, Caillou. Wait for us, please.
Mommy, I can't see anything.
Caillou decides to sit on his knees.
Caillou, please sit down like a big boy.
Just in time, a friendly waiter comes toward the table with a booster seat for Caillou to sit on.
What would you like to eat, Caillou?
Let me look, Mommy.
Caillou wants to act like a grown-up and opens the menu, too. There are no pictures on his menu, and Caillou is very disappointed. Caillou waits patiently while Mommy orders his favorite spaghetti. It's taking so long for the food to come. Caillou gets tired of waiting and wants to get up and move around.
Where are you going?
Caillou doesn't want to sit anymore.
Do you want to go to the bathroom?
Okay.
Caillou finds a new game. He's having fun drying his hands under the automatic dryer.
Again!
Caillou runs back to the sink to wash his hands again.
Okay, but this is the last time.
The waiter comes to the table with all the plates balanced in his arms. Caillou is very impressed.
Wow! Mommy and Daddy never do that.
Caillou takes a bite of his food and makes a face. It doesn't taste like this at home.
Caillou, at least eat some of your dinner, please.
Yeah.
Caillou isn't hungry anymore. He wants to play under the table.
Where is my Caillou?
Caillou jumps out from under the table.
I'm here!
Caillou, you're supposed to stay in your seat.
I don't want to sit anymore. I want to go home.
Just then, the waiter comes to the table with a wonderful dessert. Caillou completely forgets about wanting to go home.
Yay! I'm hungry.
Caillou is happy to be eating at the restaurant with Mommy and Daddy. He really feels like a big boy.
Caillou was playing with Gilbert. His dinosaur was tied to a long string. Gilbert was ready to pounce, tail twitching.
Ready, Gilbert?
Caillou tugged hard on the string. The dinosaur went flying through the air. Gilbert jumped up and pounced on the dinosaur, catching it proudly.
Yay, Gilbert! You saved me from the dinosaur!
Caillou continued to pull the string around the room.
Oh no! He's still chasing me! Get him, Gilbert! Get him!
Gilbert chased him and finally pounced on the dinosaur again.
You got him this time, Gilbert!
Snack time, Caillou.
You stay here, Gilbert.
Caillou went off to have his milk and cookies that Daddy had prepared for him.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's play now.
Caillou looked around the room and under the cushions.
Gilbert, where are you?
Caillou was upset. He had told Gilbert to stay and wait for him.
Daddy, Gilbert's gone, and I need him for my dinosaur game.
Well, Gilbert is not here in the kitchen.
Caillou went hunting for Gilbert. He checked in the basement and found his mommy. Hi, Caillou. What's going on?
I can't find Gilbert. He was supposed to wait for me.
He's probably hiding in one of the bedrooms. Let's play detectives and look for him.
Yeah!
Mommy and Caillou headed upstairs. A good detective needs to look for clues.
What are clues?
A clue is anything that will help us find Gilbert, so keep your eyes wide open. Caillou saw a piece of string on the floor in the hall. It was the string from his dinosaur game.
Is this a clue, Mommy?
That's a very good clue. The string was between two bedrooms, so Caillou picked one and went in to look for Gilbert. In his parents' room, Caillou looked under the bed, then under the chair, and all around the room.
He's not in here, Mommy.
That leaves your room, Caillou.
My room!
Looking around his room, Caillou did not see Gilbert.
Gilbert, come here!
Caillou looked under the bed and found his dinosaur.
Another clue, Mommy!
You are a good detective, Caillou. Caillou squeezed the dinosaur and it made a squeaky roar. Mummy and Caillou heard a quiet meow. Caillou pulled back the covers on his bed.
Gilbert, I found him!
Caillou pulled the sleepy cat into his arms. Today, Caillou and his mommy were going to do some gardening. What are you looking at, Caillou?
There's a caterpillar. It's eating a lot of that big leaf, Mommy. And it's only a tiny caterpillar.
Well, it's a tiny caterpillar now, but soon it will be a big, strong butterfly. First, it needs to eat as much as it can. Caillou looked closely at the caterpillar, but it was so tiny, he didn't understand how it could possibly turn into a butterfly.
What are you doing, Caillou?
Caillou's friend Sarah was peeking at him through a gap in the garden fence.
I'm trying to look at this tiny caterpillar, but it's too small.
We can use my magnifying glass.
What's that?
A magnifying glass is something you use to make something small look big.
Caillou looked through the magnifying glass and laughed. It made Sarah's face look much bigger. Caillou liked seeing the caterpillar through the magnifying glass. He could see all its tiny legs moving.
I have an idea. Let's play Jungle Explorer.
Caillou thought this was a great idea. He got down on his hands and knees and started exploring.
Wow!
A great big jungle monster!
Caillou looked at the huge butterfly. It was so colorful.
It's as big as a bird! It must have eaten lots and lots of leaves!
Caillou wanted to keep looking at the butterfly, but it flew away.
Come back here, butterfly!
The jungle is much thicker there. You can't get through it, Caillou.
If I can't get through it, I'll go under it.
Caillou bent down as low as he could and crawled deeper into the garden. Caillou saw the butterfly again in the distance. It was on top of a ferocious lion who was sleeping soundly.
I have to be careful not to wake up the sleeping lion. Oh no!
The lion woke up with a roar and scared away the butterfly, which flew off deeper into the jungle.
I've got you now, butterfly!
The loud rumbling in the sky startled Caillou, and it startled the butterfly too.
What was that?
Caillou was very frightened and ran back out of the jungle as fast as he could.
Sarah! Sarah! Mommy, Sarah, did you hear that loud noise?
Don't worry, Caillou. It was just thunder. That means it's going to rain soon.
But it scared away my butterfly.
That's okay, Caillou. Look, the caterpillar from this morning has made a cocoon. Mommy showed Caillou a jar with a cocoon inside. Caillou used the magnifying glass to see it up close.
What's a cocoon, Mommy?
When a caterpillar makes a cocoon, it means it's turning into a butterfly.
Wow! Soon I'll have a butterfly of my very own.
Wow, Caillou, that's so cool!
Caillou had lots of fun exploring the jungle and looking for butterflies. He couldn't wait for the cocoon to hatch so he could play again. Caillou and his family were on their way to Uncle Felix's farm. Caillou was very excited.
I can't wait to see all the farm animals. Moo! Quack! Uncle Felix!
Caillou gave Uncle Felix a big hug. He was very happy to see him.
Howdy, Caillou. Great to finally have you all down on the farm. You ready to see some animals?
I can't wait!
There were lots of cute, fluffy sheep in the barn.
Do you know what sound a sheep makes, Caillou?
Bah! Bah! Bah!
That's right.
Uncle Felix and Caillou gave the sheep some grain to eat.
That one's so small. Can I touch it?
Of course, Caillou, but be careful. It's only a baby.
Wow, it's so soft.
Next, Caillou saw some cows in the field outside the barn.
The cow's nose is wet. Where are all the horses, Uncle Felix? I want to be a cowboy.
Uncle Felix walked into the field and whistled. Right away, a horse galloped up to them.
This is Harry.
Harry the horse! Can I ride him, please?
Caillou had never ridden a horse before. He jumped around pretending to be a horse.
Sure you can, buddy.
Perched safely on the horse, Caillou felt like a cowboy as Uncle Felix led him and Harry around the field.
Yee-haw!
Caillou galloped up to the barn. He was still having fun pretending to be a horse.
That was such a fun ride. I really like Harry the horse.
Caillou heard a funny noise. He wasn't sure what it was.
What was that? A mommy pig! Look at all the babies!
The pigs were bathing in the mud. Caillou went in to have a closer look.
Baby pigs are called piglets.
This is so much fun!
As Caillou watched, Uncle Felix drove his red tractor. He was sad that he wasn't allowed to try.
Why can't I drive the tractor, Mommy?
Only grown-up farmers like Uncle Felix can drive tractors, Caillou. Mommy had an idea to cheer Caillou up. She pulled his favorite red tractor out of her handbag and handed it to him. Here you go, Caillou.
It looks just like Uncle Felix's.
Wow, your tractor looks just like mine. You'll be a farmer in no time.
Yippee!
In the barnyard, Caillou saw some chickens. He tried to catch them. Caillou liked watching the chickens. They pecked at the ground with their pointy beaks. One of them swallowed a worm.
Yuck!
Want to check the hen house, Caillou? Maybe the hen laid some eggs.
Ta-da!
Wow, Caillou! Excellent job! You're a great farmer.
Caillou had lots of fun at the farm with Uncle Felix. He couldn't wait to come back and see all his animal friends again. It was a bright and sunny day, and Mommy and Daddy had taken Caillou on a mystery drive. He was excited to find out where they were going.
Where are we, Mommy?
You'll find out soon, Caillou.
But I want to know now.
Caillou was getting bored of being in the car. It felt like they'd been driving for hours. Caillou looked around everywhere. but there was nothing nearby at all.
There's nothing here. Where are all the buildings?
This is a national park, Caillou. There aren't any buildings.
Just miles and miles of nature and fresh air.
So what are we going to do here?
We're going to have a...
Picnic!
Caillou thought a picnic was a great idea. He was so hungry. When the picnic was over, Caillou had so much energy he couldn't sit still.
Can we go exploring now? I want to find a lion or a tiger.
There aren't any of those here, I'm afraid, Caillou, but there are lots of squirrels and rabbits.
And now there's a bear, too! Teddy!
Caillou didn't really like walking through the woods that much. He thought it was a bit boring.
Excuse me?
Caillou turned around and saw a strangely dressed man in a big hat catching up to them.
Hi, I'm Bob, one of the park rangers. I think you might have dropped this little guy.
Caillou was confused. Why was the man carrying his trash?
No, it's empty, so I don't need it anymore.
You shouldn't just drop things when you're done with them. You should always make sure to put them in a trash can.
But why?
Well, if everyone dropped their trash all the time, the park would be really messy, and some of the animals might mistake it for food and hurt themselves by trying to eat it.
Caillou didn't like the sound of that. He didn't want any animals to hurt themselves.
Oh, no! I'll make sure to put it in a trash can later.
That sounds like a good idea. Even better, you could recycle them.
What's recycling?
It's when we reuse things to make new things, kind of like that bottle.
Daddy, can Park Ranger Bob come for a walk with us?
Sure he can.
Caillou wanted to know more about why recycling was important.
What kind of things can you recycle, Bob?
Well, you can recycle cans, cardboard, paper, glass, and plastic. But you must always remember not to put them all in one trash can.
Then what happens?
When you recycle something, it gets broken down and made into new things.
Oh, like a circle. It goes round and round.
Exactly. Well done, kiddo.
After a long walk, Caillou and his family were all ready to go home.
Thanks for teaching me all about recycling.
My pleasure, Caillou. Here, I have something for you. One for you and one for Rosie.
Wow! Thank you! Ta-da! I'm Park Ranger Caillou! Bye, Park Ranger Bob! Wait! We have to keep the park clean.
Caillou had loved exploring nature today. He couldn't wait to be Park Ranger Caillou again.